One of the drawbacks from voicing your opinion about politics is you clash with the opinions of others. Hardly in any political system would everybody support one candidate, one policy. There is always going to be differences. And because emotions for humans comes naturally, because we are built in with hormones that react to things we hear, we feel. Emotions are usually invoked first than reason, than thinking, because thinking is work, right? That's what I think. I didn't read any article on this, but this is just my opinion, so don't catch me on that. But that's what I see. People tend to be more emotional than anything else. And so, very easily would people clash, use emotions really highly in a political situations. Nigeria will elect its president very soon, in a week's time, I believe. So if you are listening to this, I want to really say again, the reason why I have really one criteria for choosing my candidate. The criteria is freedom. In other words, you might know it as restructuring, maybe federalism. Those, like I explained in my earlier podcast, are not really what I want. But those are my best choices to get to where I want, which is total freedom. So really, that's my criteria. My criteria is one, freedom. Who among the candidates is most likely to restructure Nigeria? In my opinion, it comes in two ways. And before I tell you, I really want to give you a heads up about what freedom means to me. No, not what freedom means to me, what freedom is. It's not me defining what freedom is. Freedom is a situation where is a principle of no compulsion. That's what freedom means. No compulsion, meaning anything has to be consensual, right? If I want your thing, I need to consent with you, you agree. So I can't force you to give me anything, basically, to take your stuff. So that's what freedom means. Unfortunately, government is force. So government is not freedom. So me, I want freedom. That means I don't want government. I want total freedom. I want a system. I want people to embrace freedom in their personal lives and other lives, that we organize our system without force. Naturally organize our system without force. So our trading, our marital relationship, all of that, no force. You do your thing, I do my thing. I don't force you, don't force me. The only way I can get your thing is if I beg you, you agree to give me. I offer you a value, you offer me a value back, like that. That kind of system is the best chance that humans have to live peacefully with prosperity. So that's my end goal, right? So in order to get there, or maybe we'll probably never ever get there, certainly not in my lifetime. Certainly not in my lifetime. It's going to get better, I think. But the world is not suddenly going to get rid of all its government, and people are going to treat people with no compulsion. In fact, it's never going to happen, because there's always going to be some kind of criminality among people. But at least we are not forming an organization that we know is compulsion, right? So there's never going to be one in my lifetime. But to get there, my best possible option is preaching people to start raising their children peacefully. One. So that means, okay, my way to get there is wherever I see a system that survives based on compulsion, I preach against it. That is my system. I preach against any system that uses compulsion to achieve its aim. Okay? So, right now, if I see parents beating their children, I'm going to preach, hey, there are other peaceful means. You don't have to beat your children to instill anything, to make them do things. If you have to beat them, that means you have failed as a parent already. If I see the existence of government, I'm going to preach against it. Now, so that is why when it comes to government, what I need is a candidate that will go in and start eliminating it. That's basically what it is. And it comes in form of, so let's say we write in our constitution that government is responsible for sharing oil money. I want a candidate that will go in and say, you know what? Let's remove that out of the constitution. That's it. You remove that, government is no longer responsible for that. People are. So government is responsible, let's say, for building roads. Right? We say, okay, we don't want to use compulsion to build roads. Okay, let's remove it out of the hands of government. So you see, I'm removing compulsion wherever I see it in government. So that means my candidate is the one that will go and start to do that. So you may know it as restructuring. It could come in two forms. One, the candidate might say, you know what? I'm going to remove oil in the constitution, so that if you find oil in your land, it's your own. If you find gold, it's your own. Nobody will come and take it away from you. Okay? So that is one removal of the thing in the constitution. Secondly, taking the power, especially from the federal government, to give it to the states, or from the state to the local government and to the city government, which we don't have community government. So like that. So decentralization of power, that is what it is. You take the things that federal government does. For example, in Nigeria, federal government is responsible. Anything mining, if you find anything in your land, natural resources, then the person will say, you know what, if I go in, I'm going to take those things, remove it in the federal constitution, or write it there and say, oil belongs to the states. Those are the things that I'm watching for. And the best candidate for me that is most likely to do it, not do it because I don't know what anyone will do tomorrow. The best candidate for me that exhibit that knowledge, comprehension of restructuring is Atiku Abubakar. That's why I support him. It has nothing to do with anything. My number 2 is Kingsley Moghalu. Number 3 is Obi Ezekwesili, which I think she dropped out of the competition. So those are my 3 top candidates, and that is the reason. So really, to summarize before I go, I'm looking for a candidate that will reduce the powers of government. That's it. Why? Because government is force, and I don't like force, because I think people don't do well when they are under a system that uses force. It's like me putting you in a jail and expect you to do well. Your food, everything is up to me to decide all of that. No, you're not going to do well. Not as well as if you go outside and not under that cage. So that's the reason why. That's why Atiku is my number 1. Number 2, Kingsley Moghalu. Number 3, Obi Ezekwesili. Thank you very much for listening, and I shall talk to you later.